In my view, humiliation is my guru. Humiliation is my teacher. What does that mean? Let's look. But first, my name is Ed Conley, and I practice awakening or awareness, is there a difference? From the 1950s. I'm 89, and I'm still pumped up and ready to go. Every morning, I have fresh views, and they're always a little wild and crazy. So you have to pull the cotton ball apart, say, what is he talking about? Humiliation is my teacher? What does that mean? Well, you can practice it on Facebook. Is where I'm on Facebook all the time since I'm retired. Don't get out of the house much. I live on Facebook writing. I'm a creative writer. And on TikTok, content creator. I don't consume content, I create it. And when you create content and not selling something, like which most people do, I don't have any content to sell. When you create content, you have a surprise, wild and crazy idea. But you have to pull it apart to see if it makes any sense. So, how is humiliation your teacher? Well, you can practice this on Facebook. The next time you write a post or a comment or an opinion, and somebody says, which they always do, "You're wrong. Where did you get that idea? That's stupid. You're an idiot," or whatever. But mostly it's just no, yada, 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 or wrong, yada, yada, yada. And when that happens, when you have a good opinion, a good idea, and somebody disrespects it by saying wrong, they're not giving you a chance to explain it, but just hitting it with a butcher's axe, wrong, that hits a little bit. I don't care how much you try to hide it, there's a little pain there. There's a little hurt. There's a little humiliation. Life is so humiliating, we don't even notice it anymore. We think it's normal. It's normal to be humiliated. It's normal to react. Look at some families. They're just one humiliation after another, one reaction after another. It becomes a game. It's a sport. You get men together, and what do? They humiliate each other. They make fun of each other. No matter what anyone says, the other one pulls it down. Everyone humiliates everyone. It's sport. But sometimes we take the sport seriously. And we end up like Ross shooting Renee Good because she humiliated him. She didn't respect him. She wasn't afraid of him. And for the Iceman, for the intimidator, that cannot be tolerated. You want people to react. You want people to fight. You want people to run, to be afraid. But when someone is not afraid, that's humiliating. And that causes a violent response. So let's get back to humiliation on Facebook, which is where you can practice it in a safe environment. Instead of in your kitchen where you get humiliated by your wife or husband and you end up in a fight, which can lead to divorce. So let's practice on Facebook. The next time you have a good opinion and somebody responds with wrong, instead of responding, well, what do you mean? Can you explain that? If they respond with wrong, notice the little humiliation. It may be a big humiliation or it may be a tiny one. Doesn't make any difference. There's a tiny prick. Now there's where your practice begins. Instead of reacting, and reaction is our first responder in our culture. In fact, if you don't react, you are a wimp. You are a pussy. You have to react. So we worship first responders. You respond, knee-jerk, instantly, and you come back with some retort, some biting response, some clever answer, some way to respond to the humiliation by humiliating the other. That restores balance. This is look at men. In the men, the boys hang out together. One humiliates the other humiliates back. Justice. Even the score. So whenever you humiliate your buddy, you see, which they all do, the other one responds with a clever humiliation. Or your mother does it too. George Costanza was caught in that when he was humiliated at the boys' club, the corporate table, and he couldn't come up with a retort. So he finally stewed on it and worked with it. And finally, at the next meeting, he came up with a response, and it was over the top. He didn't restore order. He went too far. Anyway, I digress. But the point is, here's the rule. When humiliated, when you feel the pain, hold the pain. Keep the pain. Don't do anything with it. Just feel the hurt. Just feel the unpleasant feeling of humiliation. Don't do anything. Pause. Hold. And when you hold it without reaction, you create a space. You create an emptiness when you don't react. And in that emptiness, a creative response will come to you. So if you hold the reaction, a response will replace it. And a response is going to be creative. And it's creative because you won't know what you're going to say. We know what our reactions are. You know how you're going to react because reacting is a ritual. Ritual reaction. We respond in the same old way, you see. Then we escalate. Wah, 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 wah. I'm going to unfriend that person. I'll deport you. Wah, wah, wah. Hold. Pause. Wait. Allow the pain as being just a feeling with no cause. If you give it a cause, I hurt, you did it, now you're humiliated. Now you own the unpleasant feeling in your identity. You make this trivial, transitory, impermanent feeling absolute because you give it the identity of your absolute sense of self. You see that? Once you identify with it, you react. You have to react. So there's the feeling, a humiliation. There's the identification with it. You hurt me, and there will be a reaction, which can be either clever or violent or even ignored. Ignoring it is a reaction that just lets your humiliation fester. Oh, get back at that thing. It'll go on in your mind. You'll leave the interaction and it'll just be going on. Oh, I shouldn't have let him do that. I should have said something. Next time I'm going to say something. And then we'll try to get rid of the humiliation by telling other people about it. Oh, that Walmart person really pissed me off. I did. Yada, yada, yada. Conversations are full of that. So you can cut it at the bud. When you feel the humiliation, that little unpleasant feeling, pause, hold, don't react, allow. And in that space of non-reaction, a creative response will happen. And when it's a creative response, you won't know what it's going to be because it'll be new, and it will restore order. It will restore order because there was no humiliation. There was no disorder. If you don't react, there's no hurt. Oh, there's a little pain, but there's no hurt. And this is the way you get free from the hurt locker. This is a good talk. I'll get back to this, maybe not. Anyway, thanks for dropping in. Share my posts. Follow them. Let's kick this crazy viewpoint down the road.